Assalamualaikum everyone. So the topic that's assigned to our group is about file server. A file server is a computer or device that stores and shares files with other computers or devices on a network. Think of it like a file cabinet. Imagine a file cabinet where you store all your important documents and files. A file server is like a digital version of that file cabinet, where you can store and organize your files and access them from anywhere on the network. Key features include file storage, file sharing, and network access. Example: a company has a file server that stores all its employees' documents such as resumes, contracts, and performance reviews. Employees can access these files from their own computers, and the HR department can manage and update files as needed. In summary, a file server is a central location for storing and sharing files on a network, making it easy for multiple users to access and collaborate on files. Without further ado, let's see the image. In file server, you can send or share files in zip format, MP3, MP4, PNG, PDF in any format you like to the client, and client can access those through file server. For creating a file server on your own Windows host machine, you need to download something. Number 1, you need to install VMware Workstation Pro and the ISO image of Windows Server 2019. The installation of VMware Workstation is about 447 MBs, whereas ISO of Windows Server 2019 is of 5.26 GB. All you have to do is just install that setup and click on finish, and you have this interface. From that, you can select on create a new virtual machine and create a new virtual machine of Windows Server 2019. Step 2 is to create a virtual machine and install Windows Server 2019. Download the ISO image from Google and download the one that is compatible to your PC, 64-bit or 32-bit, whichever is applicable. Then go to the VMware Workstation Pro, create a new virtual machine, and then there will be an option typical, recommended, or custom advanced. Select the custom advanced and next. Then choose the virtual machine hardware compatibility. Choose that as workstation 17.5 or later, and then click on next. After that, there will be another pop-up, guest operating system installation. Click that I will install the operating system later. The virtual machine will be created with a blank hard disk, and click on next. After that, select guest operating system. You're working on a Microsoft Windows, so select Microsoft Windows. After that, you can see a version tab below that. You can just click on the version and select Windows Server 2019. Then next. Name your virtual machine as you like. We're naming it as Windows Server 2019. And location, you can browse the location if you want to change the location of the Windows Server. For us, it's Windows 19. We've created a folder and click on next. Then firmware type UEFI. Next, processor configuration. We are using the minimum configuration for the processes, like 2 and number of core per processor 1. You can increase or decrease according to your need. Next, after that, memory for the virtual machine. We are selecting 4 GB memory for the local machine, and then next. Then we have network type. We are using network address translation. It means that we are using NAT adapter because it gives the guest operating system access to the host computer dial-up or external Ethernet network connection using the host IP address. Then next. Then select I/O controller and input and output controller types. LSI logic SAS recommended. Then next. After that, you have to select a disk type. We are selecting NVMe recommended. And next. After that, you have to select a disk. we'll be creating a new virtual disk and giving it a maximum disk space as of 60 GB, and then split virtual disk into multiple files. Next, then you have to see you can see that the Windows Server.vmdk is created, and it's created on the location that you already given before. Then click on next. As you can see, we've created Windows Server 2019.vmdk at a location. Now click on next. After that, you have all the information that you have given before, that what is the name of the server, the location, the version, operating system, hard disk, memory, network adapter, and other CPU cores, etc. Then you have to customize the hardware and go to that option, customize hardware, and give the ISO image file that you have already given before, that you've already downloaded before, that is of 5.26 GB. Click on customize hardware, new CD DVD, and then there's an option of use ISO image file. Browse to the ISO image file that you've downloaded before, then click on finish. Now you have a virtual machine created of Windows Server 2019. Power the VM on, press enter on the boot normally, and then click on next. Give the language preferences. We've selected English, and then there will be some general settings like license agreement. Then after that, you have your own virtual server 2019 installed on your VM workstation. Now for configuring file server and IIS on Windows Server 2019, you have to follow such steps. Open your Windows Server 2019 and open the server manager. When you open the server manager, the dashboard will appear. Click on add roles and features, then next. Then there will be an option to select the installation type. Select role based or feature based installation, then next. Now you can see the server selection. There's the name of the server and the IP address 192.168.32.128. Click on next. After that, you have server roles. Select web server IIS and next. Then add features and next. Next. Click on next, and then select FTP server and install. After installing, come again to the server manager and go to the tools and select IIS manager, Internet Information Services Manager. Here you can drop down the Windows server. You'll see a sites option. Then right click on the sites, and there will be an option add FTP site. Click on that, add FTP site. Then name your FTP site. We've named it as test, and then there's a path. You have to give the physical path of that FTP site that you want to share. We'll be having local disk C, in which there's a folder named initpub. Then in that folder we have another folder, FTP root, a subfolder you can say. Then select that and click on OK. The physical path is C drive initpub FTP root. Click on next. After that, you have to bind the IP address, that is the 192.168.32.128. this is the IP address of your server, and the port number is 21. After that, you have to select a SSL certificate, but we do not have an SSL certificate, so that's why we're selecting no SSL, and click on next. Then there's authentication and authorization information. In authentication, we'll be selecting anonymous, and authorization will be allowing the access to anonymous users, and permission will be read only, and then finish. Now, as you can see on sites, we've created our first FTP site successfully, and there's the IP address and the port number is also visible, and status of the FTP site is started. Now what you have to do is that you have to go to the location local disk C initpub ftp root, the folder that is shared folder among the whole file server. You have to create a text file there. You can also place some setups if you want. Whatever you want to share among the other clients, you can put that in that folder. Put those in this folder. Like we've created an txt file hi and added a little bit of text in it and saved that file. One more thing, that if you want to test the configuration, that whether your ftp server is uh, configured or not, you can do it by going to the ftp site in your own windows machine. Like in the file explorer, go to the address bar and write as ftp colon slash slash 192.168.32.128, and you can see the high text txt file that you've created in that ftp root folder. One more thing that you can do is that you can also create another user in your Windows Server 2019, and that is done by opening your PowerShell as an administration and write the command as net user, then the username and then the user password and /add. Here we've created a username Fatty, and there's the password as Fatty dot, and we've added that user. We can also go to that user, log into that user, and go to the file server, write the further file address in the address bar as ftp dot colon slash slash 192.168.32.128, and you can access those files in real time. You can also add more files through your Windows Server machine and then refresh on the Windows host, and those will be updated eventually at the same time. That's all. Thank you.